hooked on you, baby, you're golden. Time moves, I never noticed, just can't get enough. Got me wonderstruck.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Make Me a Nerd. I'm Mandy Kaplan, a mainstream mom whose mission it is to explore all things nerd culture, one video game, TV show, romantasy at a time. And this show is something that I believe is not actually a nerdy show, but a very mainstream show about nerds. What? And there's no one better to go through Freaks and Geeks with me than my friend, also not a nerd, but he is an actor, a drummer, a writer, and a blue man. And if you don't know what that means, he's about to tell us. Everybody, it's Jeffrey Brown.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Oh, and master of special effects.
Master of special effects.
Master of vocal effects. Should we start over and I'll say that?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's take two.
Yeah. So, Blue Man.
Yes.
Look, I know you, and I know you're a wonderful guy and father and husband and actor and creative person. But it's got to be your life story that when people find out you're a Blue Man, the record stops. That's all they want to know about.
What's going on there? Exactly. Yeah. Blue Man Group. I have been a Blue Man in the world famous Blue Man Group for since 1999. So I've been doing it, 26 years. I did it full time for a long time. I started, I started doing Blue Man when Blue Man was still just it was still pretty small of a company. There was a show in New York. There was a show in Chicago. There was a show in Boston. And
there was.
Yeah.
Wicked Pissa.
That's right. The Boston Child's Playhouse. Warrington Street, right?
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, yeah. I did that show many times. I miss it. So I got started in Blue Man because I've always been an actor. I've always been a drummer. And my friend Thessaly Lerner, who I worked at
I know her as well. Yeah.
You know Thessaly?
Yeah. From years ago in voiceover. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a big voiceover person. Thessaly called me up one day because we were camp counselors together at a circus camp, as you do.
Yep.
She called me up one day and she said, I had a dream that you beat out Michael Jackson for the part of a Blue Man. And I opened up the San Francisco Guardian and I saw this. And she showed me an open call for Blue Man Group. And she was like, you have to go. So I went and I auditioned twice in San Francisco. It was just really basic. Like, I don't know if people don't know about Blue Man Group. We don't speak. We are mute creatures, mute rhythmic creatures that love paint and being messy. And so in that first audition, I really just, they had me sort of tell a story with my eyes. The story was look at the camera and say, and tell this story with your eyes of what is that to, oh my God, it's something really good to, oh wait, it's something really bad. No way.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's doing it with his eyes as he's telling the story. And it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw blobs of cream cheese at his face on the computer.
Exactly. And then so I told that little story with my eyes. And then they brought me out to New York and I did a 2-week. Back then it was like with the original 3 Blue Men. And there was this whole team of directors and it was super intense. Every 2 days you would go in and it was like a reality show. And they would sort of say like, we're going to keep you on. We're going to keep you on. And then they hired me into training after 2 weeks. And I still wasn't hired yet. It's still during training every week, every Friday, you would have to walk into a meeting and they would be like, you're staying or you're going to go. It really was like
a course line. Yeah.
It was like,
Morales, get back in line. Yeah.
100%. And then even when they were, we were going to open a show in Brazil at one point, and they actually did a reality show, Finding the Next Blue Man.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. The guys, Vinny is still in Las Vegas. I do shows with him all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, so I opened the Las Vegas. I got hired in New York. I did New York for a year because they had said that they'd gone around to the cast and said, "Who wants to move to Las Vegas for our big Las Vegas show?" Everyone was like, "Not me.
Yeah,
I don't want to move to Las Vegas." So they thought, "Oh my gosh, we're going to have to hire all new cast, and we can't have our biggest show be brand new performers."
Sure.
So they pushed it back a year, and they hired all of us, and it was this amazing year. We all lived on 12th and 3rd in a building provided by Blue Man Group.
Wow.
And we did shows in New York, and they would say, go to Chicago, go to Boston, go here, go there. And it was this glorious, unbelievable year. And then we all moved to Vegas and opened the show out there, and we're all like, wait, you guys are we all moved out there as a group, and then half of like all the directors and stuff, they all moved back. And we were all like, oh my God,
They just left us here in the desert.
yeah, we're marooned in Las
Yeah.
Vegas. And so we found our way. But yeah, it's been great. It's a super fun show. If anyone hasn't seen it, go see Blue Man Group in Las Vegas.
Well, one of the things that I find interesting about Blue Man is similar to Freaks and Geeks. It is for both. Blue Man could be seen as nerdy and niche,
100%.
or it's really mainstream and for every tourist that comes into town.
That's so interesting because it is. It does. The character has that duality of sort of and the audience is definitely, it's like got this rock and roll aspect that's super cool and hip.
Yeah,
But then there is also this science, geek, nerdy tech side.
absolutely.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Yeah,
I know.
totally.
I'm wicked smart. Okay, so when I asked you what you wanted to talk about, you said this was your favorite show, Freaks and Geeks,
Yeah, but
1990s. Judd Apatow, Paul Feig,
Paul Feig,
right?
Mike White,
Mike White. I mean, the people
it's
behind this show are
Ju-
unbelievable.
Gabe Sachs, Jeff Judah. It
The
started.
pedigree.
I will make the argument that this show changed comedy forever and started took comedy and made a left turn and started comedy on a whole brand new path.
Like the single camera path?
Yeah, the
Or
single camera path, the whole sort of like nerd comic, like the whole alternative comedy sort of thing that was happening with like Brian Posehn and like all these guys that were sort of like when the geeks became cool.
uh-huh.
I think Freaks and Geeks had a lot to do with that.
Okay, well, it only ran for one season. So let me tell people who are like, "Oh, I've heard of that," but they're not sure what it is. Uh, it takes place in Michigan, and it's a group of high school students, and as they face various social struggles. A shy teenage girl and brainiac Lindsay Weir wants to rebel, and she begins hanging out with a bunch of slackers. Her geeky freshman brother Sam and his two other geeky friends Bill and Neil are targeted by a bully. That's the plot of the pilot, and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
so we watched the pilot. We're going to go pretty quickly because we did 4 episodes. I thought it was a half hour, but it's
I
not.
know. I kind of did too. I was. I mean, it's 44 minutes probably each episode is because it was network TV, so
Right.
it's sort of in between. But
Well, why did you love this? When you saw it,
well,
did you see it when when
no,
it aired? You
I
didn't.
did
You
not
saw
see
it
it when it
after the
aired.
fact.
I saw it
Okay.
later.
Tell me about that, Jeffrey.
I saw it probably about 2 or 3 years after, on the recommendation of a bunch of, because Second City moved to Vegas and I was hanging out with a bunch of Second City people, and they were all like, "You got to watch Freaks and Geeks." And when I saw this show, I was both Lindsay Weir and John Daly's character. I was the freak and I was the geek. They both represented my life so much.
Yep.
And I will point out all of the unbelievable similarities. The opening scene, Van Halen is a band that changed my life because I grew up in a classical family. And when I heard Van Halen, I went, oh my God, there's this whole new world out there that I started exploring. And it sent me down a rock and roll, sort of a rock and roll path. But the
Yeah.
opening, that opening scene, when they go under the bleachers,
Yeah.
I hung out under the bleachers listening to Van Halen.
I can't imagine you as you're saying you were both the nerd and one of the slackers, but you and I can't believe you're not acknowledging you are Jason Segel, right? I mean,
Oh my God. I was going to wait till we got to that episode,
okay.
but
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
absolute,
Yeah.
100. That was, I
Yeah.
did exactly that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Well, I will it shock you to know I am Millie, the nerdy musical theater loving, like straight-laced, you shouldn't drink, it's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Right. But
I'm
then,
nervous at this party. I'm high on life.
right.
That
But then she ends up going down the bad road a little bit too, which is fascinating. In the episode, Dead Dogs and Gym Teachers,
Oh no.
she does have a little bit of that too. But they nailed that. They just nailed it. So, they nailed the dynamic so well. The just Cindy Sanders bringing Sam the jacket in the pilot.
Mhm.
It's just, he's like I had that with girls that I liked. I couldn't speak to them when I was in seventh grade. The reason I relate to this, I guess, is because when I was in seventh grade, I was just like John Daly. I couldn't speak to girls. I marveled at kids that could.
Yeah.
And then when I got to high school, I was like, oh, there's like bad kids. And I kind of started to hang out with the bad kids and sort of fell in love with the danger of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so this show told both sides of my life, I felt like.
I fully understand that, but I think it was almost too well portrayed, the bullies chasing after the sweet nerds.
Uh-huh.
And I love those nerds. I would watch those three kids, Martin Starr,
Martin
Sam
Starr.
Levine, and John Daly. That, like, they to me are fine actors trapped in these 13-year-old bodies
Oh my God.
and so relatable. And these bullies were so aggressive and
Yeah.
so cruel and obsessed with tormenting these nerds. And
Yes.
it's uncomfortable. It breaks my heart.
I would say if there's any criticism to be made, that would be I can see your point there. It is
Oh,
almost
I'm
like
not criticizing. It's just like,
yeah,
ah,
it's sad, right?
yes.
I knew those guys. I knew the Sam Levine he's the little kid who's like a 40-year-old guy. Like there
Mhm.
was who somehow knows more about the mysterious adult world.
Yeah.
The dodgeball scene.
Yep.
The dodgeball scene when I would get pelted and be so afraid of dodgeball. They just
After you got picked last for the team, right? I
exactly.
mean, it was like Gym was painful.
Yes.
Oh,
Totally. And
yeah.
the gym teacher is so well done and just they just nail
Well, he's
they
Biff from Back to the Future, isn't he?
yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Well cast. He's not as obnoxious in this.
No,
He's a little
no.
more
And
nuanced,
he
but
has a whole storyline too
oh,
that goes down later. And then Eli, the character Eli, the sort of kid who's on the spectrum that everyone sort of makes fun of. That is so because back then we didn't have the spectrum. We didn't have names, we
right.
didn't have labels for it.
He
It
was
was
the R
just
word. Yeah.
yeah, or just the weird but there was like that happened. That was so uh it just was so related. It just was so real.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Chicago, so I was a Midwest kid, just like these kids. And in the Midwest, we didn't have. You were in Boston, right? So you were on a coast. It always felt like the coasts had something cool going on the West Coast and the East Coast, and Chicago was just in the middle. And there was no internet for us to figure
Right.
out,
Right.
what was cool. Like
Right.
Chicago's way cooler now because of the internet, and the trends can fly over there really
Yeah.
fast. But back then, it was like it really was like it was a different world.
Well, and this takes place in 1980, which is a
Mhm.
little before, you and I
Yeah.
we would have been 6 in 1980.
Yes.
We're, it's a little older than us. But uh, the bully, Alan, who was Squints from Sandlot, shout out, he's so good. And he's
Yeah.
really good as the bully, but
Yeah.
he's hard to watch. He screams like, "You're all dead!" And then he
Yeah.
hops on his bike with a banana seat
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
and
you're gonna
takes
get
off like a tough guy.
yeah.
And it's
And they
so
use the
funny.
word creamed. You're gonna get creamed. Like
Yeah.
we said that all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's so great. It's so
And
great.
And, before we move on, Martin Starr basically makes me laugh every time he speaks in this pilot and throughout the 4 episodes I watched. He has a real gift for an under the breath comment that just crushes.
Yeah. Like even his little opening credits in the opening credits, which are so amazing with Joan Jett,
Bad Reputation.
Bad Reputation, so good. The way that they set up each character and how they take the picture, it's like perfectly encapsulates. And Martin Starr does that thing where he kind of smiles like he's really way too big, and then right after he just is like, "Oh, this sucks so much."
Yeah. Yeah, they're taking school pictures.
Yeah.
And do we know why Busy Phillips is never in the opening credits, but always listed as like a now starring or whatever?
Because I don't know why. I mean, I'm assuming just budget wise, but she was a guest star the entire time. She was not a series regular.
That's so strange because she's in every episode.
She's in every single episode. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a budget thing. I'm sure they're like, we can only pay for these,
I have some fun facts later, but it very much evokes Wonder Years, which is a beloved show of mine.
Me too.
But this, I have to say, has less laughs. And I know this is listed as a comedy, and it can be funny. And Martin Starr is hilarious. But it's also heartbreaking and
Oh my God.
sincere. And Lin-
Absolutely.
Linda Cardellini to me is perfect in every way, shape, and form.
Yes.
And
Ag
when Lindsay's hurting or feeling insecure or scared, I'm hurting and feeling insecure
yeah,
and scared.
yeah.
Whereas when Kevin Arnold on Wonder Years was feeling insecure, there was always an underlying humor, or there felt like it was more humorous, more distance from
Yeah,
it.
I think the humor for me with the show comes it's all recognition. "Oh my god, I did that. Oh, that is so funny. That is exactly how it was. The banana seat on the bike," whatever.
Hmm.
The humor for me really comes from just relating to what that like, it's almost you're probably right. If you didn't live through the '80s, this show is not gonna be as funny to you as it is
Hmm.
someone who did.
Sure. But I didn't live through the 60s and I love the Wonder Years. So
Right,
there's something lightning in a bottle about it
right,
that
right.
I
I
think
think
you're right about this one though. If I sat Casey down to watch it, he would be he and Oliver, your beautiful son, I think they would
yes.
feel like, "Guys, what is this?" You know?
Oliver loved it. He
Oh, did
actually
he really?
yeah, we watched it
Okay.
as a
Oh, your
family.
kid is better than mine. Okay, I get it.
Casey, I bet you Casey would like it. Give it a try. Give it a
We
try.
will. I will. This episode ends at the school dance, and Sam finally goes over to ask
Yes.
Sydney to dance, and
Mhm.
it's "Come Sail Away," which we all know starts as a ballad and
No,
then switches to an up-tempo, so he
and
can't even
this
get his hands on her.
oh my god. And to me as a child, trying to figure out how to fast dance was so confusing and strange, and I had no I still to this day have no idea how to fast dance. And when that happened, I was just blown away, like, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
Uh, yeah. I it was a really well done pilot, a really fun story premise, great actors.
Can
We will
we
get it more into them, but,
yes, I just wanna take
set up the world really well.
yes, and I just wanna point out one
Yeah.
other geek character that is so true and so funny is the leader nerd who knows everything, and he's got, like, a mustache because he's sort of, like, hit puberty
Yeah.
before all the other geeks, and they all go to him with their advice, and he's always like, "Hmm, well, you need to consider" and he's got sort of, like, wisdom from the other world.
Mhm.
That
The
is
dungeon master in the later episodes, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. She's the sort of he's
He's the
he's the
dungeon master of life for
yeah,
them.
exactly.
Yeah.
He knows all and he leads the geeks very much like Michael Anthony Hall in 16 Candles, the king of the
Farmer
geeks.
Ted. Yep.
Right? Lumber Ted. Yeah, totally. I just love
Uh,
that.
yeah. I didn't catch his character name or his actor name, so I'm a bad person, but
Me
he's
neither.
great.
So we're both bad, but boy, was it a
Yeah.
funny choice to have that character in there.
And that's our pilot. And then we
Mhm.
went to episode 3, Trick or Treat. Lindsay
Yeah,
agrees to stay home and hand out candy with her mom on Halloween night. However, when she gets an invite to go cruise around town with the slackers, she ditches her mom to hang out with them. The young boys all go trick or treating until they encounter Alan, the bully,
yeah.
again in another conflict. This
So
episode starts with the blender challenge, which I would like to break down a little bit.
100%. I did that too.
Of course you
I
did.
totally did that.
So I wrote, how much would you need to get paid to do the blender challenge now?
Oof. Probably a lot. Probably a lot more than I would have back then.
So they can put anything edible into a blender, and is it Martin Starr, Bill, who
Yeah.
drinks it? Yeah.
Bill drinks it, yeah.
Uh it, that is so clearly from Paul Feig or Mike White's childhood. Have
Yeah.
they ever said how much of this show is autobiographical? Because
I
some of
think a
it
lot of
feels
it is.
so real.
I back when I watched the show, I got the DVDs from Netflix, and on
Yeah.
the DVDs, you could watch episodes with the director commentary. And I
Yes.
watched all of it, and it was absolutely Paul Feig's. He said, I remember at the end of the I know we moved on from the pilot, but at the
Yeah,
end of
that's
the
okay.
pilot, he said, "This," and it was like that last shot where it pulls out from the dance, and he goes, "And that is the thing I am most proud of in my life, and probably will never top." Just the pilot of Freaks and Geeks because it made his career. It was his first
Mhm.
entree, and he just nailed it so well. But back to the Halloween, the Blender Challenge. I do think that was Paul Feig's. A lot of this is autobiographical,
Yeah.
100%.
It feels it. It just feels,
Yeah,
and it
it's
doesn't
so
feel
gut.
sugar coated. It feels
No,
like, hey, this weird thing happened to me when I was a kid. Let's put it on the show.
totally,
And
totally.
not romanticize or
Yeah, just show how it was.
fictionalize it too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
So The other two kids are putting, and they're taking such glee in it, and they're, ketchup and mango and pickles
Totally.
and whatever is going in the
In
blender.
my world, it was Ben Goad that would have drank that.
Oh, shout out Ben Goad.
Shout out Ben Goad, 4th grade, 5th grade best friend. Come on. He
Would
was
you have?
um, I would have probably, like, taken a sip. Like,
Yeah.
I would have sort of, like, straddled the line,
Yeah.
you know, as I do. And Millie is introduced in this, or no, she's in the pilot too, but Millie
She's
has
in
a
the
line where
pilot.
she says she has a boyfriend from church camp, and
Mhm.
if you French kiss before 6 months, you go to hell. And
Mhm.
that is such perfect fodder and mythology for that for that time. It's so great.
I love Millie so much, but she's multifaceted. She is not stereotypical awkward nerd, period.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
more going on for her.
And yeah, and it gets better later. And what I also love about this episode is there is that sense of, like, when you reach 8th grade, all of a sudden you're like, what do I do on Halloween? Now I'm too old to trick or treat, but I'm not an adult, but I want to do something. That
Mhm.
was such a huge confusing thing. It's that I love coming of age. I mean, this show is a coming of age show. I've always been attracted to coming of age. I don't know why. It really speaks to me.
Yeah.
And Halloween is such a perfect um uh sort of,
Backdrop.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it is that thing of, like, and Lindsay goes out with the bad kids and, like, does bad stuff, and Lindsay's in the car trying to say, well, why don't we do this, or we could do that, and they're like, no, we just want to, like, hang out, which
Drive
means
around and be assholes. Ugh.
yes,
Okay.
totally.
So one thing I didn't do was, Pete, if you could put up the cast picture. This is all the gang, that so everyone listening to the podcast can see the picture. It is a very male focused white show. I know it was a different time. I know that Jer, my husband, gets annoyed with me when I point this out about everything. I
Uh-huh.
wish it were diverse, but it's not. But they made an effort to have a female lead, which I'm thinking was a bunch of middle-aged white guys saying, "Well, we can't just have it be all white boys. So let's make the lead character, Lindsay, make her a girl, and that justifies that all the rest of the characters are just little white guys."
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but there is a very, very male energy to this show.
100%. I agree, and I mean, if you look at the right, there's almost the writing staff is all men.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you're correct on that. It is definitely, and that's probably why I love it so much too, because I am a white man that grew up in the '80s, and it just. But you're right. That's true.
Yeah. And Lindsay feels to me like she was almost written as a boy, and then they just changed her name when they went to
Yeah,
cast
right. Like,
because
casting was like, what if this was a girl?
yeah, she doesn't feel like, and not that she has to, but she's not relatable to me as I felt in high school. She's she's got like a masculine energy to her. Um, and
Yes, she does. Wearing that jacket all the time, that army coat from her
yeah,
grandma, or
yeah. And I only watched 4 episodes, so I don't know if she ever wrestles with mood swings or real crushes. I mean, I know she ends up with Nick and then without, but
whatever.
she just feels masculine, and it's
Yeah,
not a bad thing. She's a,
yeah.
a relatable tomboy character, and
Mhm.
again, Linda Cardellini can do no wrong. But
I would have been in love with her had I gone to school with her. I would have been
right?
like, the girl that I wanna,
Yes.
but she would have seen me as a friend, and every day I would have been like, "Today I'm gonna tell her. Today I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna tell her today," and I would never tell her.
Oh my God. Now here, okay, let's forget about Freaks and Geeks and
Uh-huh.
forget we're on a podcast, and
Okay.
let's just dive into our childhoods. And I'm gonna try and make you cry. Did you ever have the experience where like the girl you liked was like, "Can I talk to you later? I have to talk to you," and you're like, "This is it.
This is it.
It's gonna
Here we go.
happen. Here
Yep.
we go." And then
And then
she's like, "I like your friend Dan Goad, Ben
yeah.
Goad. Sorry, Ben."
Yeah, no, it
Right?
wasn't Ben Goat, it was a guy na yeah, yeah. Absolutely,
Can you
and
help me? Or like, and it feels like the conversation was in slow motion. I think I really like someone, but I'm afraid to tell you who. And you're going, this is
your
it.
stomach is turning, yeah, yeah,
Pick out the
absolutely.
rings. I
Oh, yeah.
was the girl that all my crushes turned to ask about my friends.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
not have known that. That's interesting.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
was
wait,
really good.
Jeffrey, it's just
Oh
that
god.
I had a really hard time. No, but it's, yeah, it that's the kind of memory or feeling that gets evoked by this show is,
Mhm,
"Oh god, I remember. Oh god, I felt
mhm.
that way." You
Yeah.
wanna hide, but you wanna watch and be entertained too, but
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I was, like, best friends with a girl who I was in love with, and it was the only way that I could she played the drums. Um,
Shut
I'm
up.
yeah, I was, like, totally I was head over heels for this girl for
Yes.
years, and I would talk to her on the phone all the time, and she would just tell me about all the guys that she liked and what she did with these guys and how far it went.
Oh, boy.
Ugh, and every I would always be like, "Tonight's the night, I'm gonna do it," and I never did.
Never?
I
You
never did it.
never kissed her?
I never kissed her, I never even told her that I liked her, and then she showed up at a friend's wedding when we were all adults, and
Uh-huh.
like, as soon as I saw her, I felt the same way immediately. It was just
Oh.
like, there's oh my god, like, all of a sudden, like, I
Yeah.
got hot, like, I could feel the, the goosebumps and all this stuff, like, it was just it's just awful.
Okay, now we're really down a rabbit hole, but so Jeff Walsh, my one true love,
Mhm,
said to me in 7th grade, he was in love with Alyssa Milano, in love,
mhm,
like, had pictures of her on a trapper on his Trapper Keeper, that was
yeah,
it, and he said, "Hey, do you watch Who's the Boss?" And I was like, "Of course I do." I mean, who doesn't, right?
right.
And he said, "You know who you remind me of?" And I was like,
Who's the
"Who?"
boss? And he
"Jeff
said,
Walsh, who?"
Danny,
"No, Angela.
the
Judith
mom.
Light."
Judith Light, the mom.
"Yeah."
Oh, at least it wasn't Danny Pinto, the the younger
"Oh, Danny Pintaro." "No,
Danny Pintaro, yeah,
I don't
right.
know which would have been better, honestly. All I wanted was for him to say, "You remind me of Alyssa Milano,"
Yeah,
because then
totally.
game on. And
Right.
then one time he passed a note behind him. I'm demonstrating for those listening, and he dropped a note on my desk and it said, "Will you go out with me?" And you know what I said? "Yeah, shut up. Yeah, right." Because that's what defensive, insecure people
Right.
do. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I was just kidding. Yeah, I was kidding." And I'll never know.
You have not spoken or had any contact with this person in recent years?
I feel like he went a little right wing, so he's off my list. But
Oh, right.
yeah, yeah.
That
So,
happens too.
but that's what this show does. Like, I could sit and swap stories like this with you for
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, it just stirs up all of that
Yeah,
angst and insecurity of that time. It's
yes.
just
Let's make this a 19-part episode of Make Me a Nerd.
okay, let's do it. Let's do it. There's 18 episodes. Yeah.
Um, oh, that's true. We just need one for more stories about our
Yeah,
childhood.
totally.
So, one thing that I definitely strongly felt by episode 3, and I didn't watch 2, is that I really, really prefer the young kids to the older teens. Their stakes
Interesting.
are so much higher, and
Interesting.
watching them navigate life as freshmen in high school is way more interesting than watching very stereotypical characters like James Franco and Busy Phillips just, dismiss everything and call everything stupid, and I could have used way more of the little guys and less of the older teens.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
You were one of the freaks, so that
yeah, like I like that little area they have under the stairs. We had that in high school where we would
mhm,
go, like, "What's up, man? What's going on?" And, like, I guess it's just the sort of fascination of, like, as because Lindsay's coming from this good home with 2 loving parents that care about her, right?
mhm,
That was my situation. Thank God. I'm so lucky that I had parents that loved me and cared for me. And she sort of explores this, "Oh, wow." She realizes, like, these other kids don't have like no one cares where they are and no one cares when they get home. And I mean Martin Starr also sort of has this thing too. But I remember that sort of dynamic really affected me as well because I remember being like, oh wow, you realize because it's like as you grow up, you realize, oh, my situation is unique and not
mhm.
everyone has this situation.
Yeah,
So I really like that aspect of the older kids, sort of like
mhm,
Lindsay sort of like finding out, you know, this other side to herself and being like, like John Bender said in Breakfast Club, where he's like, "It feels pretty good to be bad, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
Right? And she's sort of experiencing that. But I can see that they and Seth Rogen being just the constant, pessimistic, just everything sucks, everything's terrible.
I actually found him and Franco and Busy Phillips to a huge degree to be very one note.
Hmm.
I was really fed up with like Jason Segel has more nuance and
Yeah,
vulnerabilities and purpose. And then I read what I'm just going to skip to it. Fun fact. Fun fact. Pete,
yeah,
do the sting. Segel and Franco's characters were one role, but the producers liked both actors so much they split it into two. And it
interesting.
really feels that way.
Wow,
James
that's
Franco doesn't have enough to do except smolder and
mhm.
look greasy.
Right, right.
Nick, Jason Segel's character,
Yeah,
is a richer, more developed
yeah,
character.
and with the parents, and he's sort of, yeah. That's
So,
interesting. That's fascinating.
you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they
Oh,
were.
you're
Yeah,
welcome. And then James Franco, who I've always liked as an actor. I know he is not a likable person, or he's been canceled to some degree, and I get
yeah,
that. But this was his big breakout, and
yes.
but he's doing like a Ratso Rizzo voice when no one else is.
Interesting. Yeah, he is kind of like that. Yeah, he's kind of got like
Yeah,
a,
shut up, everyone. Yeah, yeah. Like, and it's like,
yeah.
why? They're
You
in the
almost
Midwest. No one else is doing that.
right, right, right. Where's Franco? Where did he grow up? Did he grow up in like New York or something like that?
I
I
have
don't know
no
what's.
idea. I'm
Huh.
gonna say Palo Alto because I think there's something to that. Are you doing the research?
Me?
Oh yeah, I thought you were.
Oh no, I'm not doing the research. I could do the research. Let me see if I can. Here, I'll do the research. I
Yeah.
can do the
You
research.
do the research while I talk about Millie, who I
Sure.
referenced earlier, the
Huh.
the goody two shoes, musical theater loving, straight laced girl. When she introduces her boyfriend from Jesus Camp, I was so happy. I'm like, somebody's paying attention to Millie. Like
Yeah,
Millie's getting some. I was so happy for her. I love
yeah.
her.
She's amazing. She's amazing, and she that episode. She does have a turn too. She gets in a fight with her mom. It's this whole thing.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Um, So in this episode, Becky Ann Baker, who plays the mom, and Joe Flaherty plays the dad, and they are also two one note for me. They are caricatures, and I almost wish they weren't on the show. And
Joe
I'm
Flaherty.
sorry.
I can see the mom. I think has a little more nuance and more levels. But Joe Flaherty definitely. I mean, everything is like, I knew that guy. You know where he
He
is now?
died.
He's
Yeah.
dead. Yeah, it's.
Why? 'Cause I'm sorry, Becky Ann Baker, mom.
Mhm.
You have a 17-year-old daughter who would rather go out with her friends on Halloween, and you don't get that? That is completely mind-blowing to you, and you think your 17-year-old daughter would want to stay home and hand out candy, and
Well, I
it's
think that that's part of the deal is that the year before when she was 16, she did like when Lindsay was in the good life doing the good girl stuff, she did want to do it. Now she's all of
Mhm.
a sudden got this new group of friends that come and pick her up, and she's running out into a car, and who knows where she went. Like she couldn't even tell her like that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Lindsay goes against her better instincts all the time to be part of this little gang of freaks,
uh-huh.
and it breaks my heart watching her feel like we shouldn't be speeding around town and destroying property, but okay, guys, yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
And watching her morph for them or just,
Yeah.
quiet her instincts. Oh,
Yes. That
hurts.
was me. Again, I would be in those cars going, "Oh my god, this is bad stuff that we're doing." But it's cool. Like that whole just you can do that. Like kids today are like I find it interesting too because this next younger generation I don't know if you've experienced this, but I feel like this next generation is very good. They are not going around in cars looking for bad things to do. They are. It's like that era has been come and gone. Like we got to experience that, but no one else, or at least this generation won't. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, we have different things to be afraid of. We both have 15-year-old sons, and
Yes.
there's online threats. There's, I mean, we have
Yeah.
different concerns than they had back then.
Hmm.
So the ways that they're going to act out are going to be different. They're
Right.
probably not going to tool around all night because they would rather be
Right.
online, potentially meeting strangers.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
a documentary coming out about how Roblox is like a breeding ground for pedophiles. Chris
Oh,
Hansen is doing it from, To Catch a Predator. But
mhm.
that things like our kids are just on their phones all day and we don't know who they're on with, or we don't, that's
That's
them.
very,
That's the
that's them
version of
remote.
it.
That's
Yeah.
their car driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that I related so hard to Lindsay's inner struggle there of, oh my God, but I want to be friends with these guys, but they're doing bad things. Can I do bad things? I'm going to do a bad thing. And then she goes and smashes the pumpkin, and then um, feels that sort of quick adrenaline thrill. And then, of course, obviously it goes too far when she eggs her brother.
Oh,
Spoiler alert. So sad, right? So
oh.
felt so bad for him.
I just love him too, that actor, John Francis Daley.
He's a writer now. You know that he's like a major. He wrote
Uh,
Horrible Bosses. He wrote.
Do I know? These are my favorite movies. The New
Yeah,
Vacation.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 He's incredible.
I have an update from the research team. The
Oh yeah,
Francos are from Palo Alto.
yes. Actually, they are from Palo Alto. You're correct.
I'm so smart. One of my dearest friends is from Palo Alto, and I think he told me that at some point. So
Interesting.
I tucked it away for this occasion.
Right?
Anything else to say about the Halloween episode? What am I
Just
missing?
that. Nope, that's it. I was looking at notes for the next episode, because the next episode is really my favorite.
Well, one thing I want to say that I wrote at the end of this one is when I was little, I
Uh-huh.
was afraid of teenagers. Like if I
Mhm.
was in the mall and I saw a group of teenagers, I would go the other way. And now
Totally.
I have circled back around to that. I'm so terrified. And if Casey's hanging out with a bunch of teenagers, I'm like, hey, guys, hey, please think I'm cool. But, skibbity. Like
Uh,
it's so weird how when you are closer to age, when you are a teen and in your 20s, you're not afraid of teenagers. And
right.
then now I'm back
Oh yeah,
to
I was
being
afraid of
afraid of them.
teenagers too. They seemed so huge and so knowledgeable and so like, yeah, it was a whole world. I loved like asking my babysitter about like what it's like to be a teenager. Like,
Right?
yeah.
Right? Oh, and it's too much freedom for that age. It's a perfect storm of hormones and rebellious and them feeling invincible and nothing's going to hurt me. And it's a shit show. When Lindsay, uh, I think the dad says, you're just going to go hang out with those freaks. And the mom says, freaks, like circus freaks. I did laugh out loud.
Yeah, she doesn't understand. She doesn't get it. And my
Right.
parents didn't get it either. My mom had no idea. There was such, what's interesting, back then the generation gap was massive.
Yeah.
It is not as big now.
No.
Like adults walk around, like every adult I knew when I was a kid wore a suit and shiny shoes and a tie, and like
Yeah.
today all the adults are running around like they're 11 in Converse All-Stars and
Yeah.
jeans. Like no one's wearing a suit. No one's having dinner parties and things like that.
I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right. There was
Adult-
just such clear delineation between the generations.
yeah, it really was. It was like if you're an adult, you wearing adult clothes.
And a mustache. Even my mom
Yeah.
had a mustache. Um, so episode 6, I'm with the
Episode 6.
band.
Oh my God.
When Nick, that's Jason Segel, decides he's better than the others of his band, Lindsay encourages him to audition for a bigger band. When things don't go well in the audition, Lindsay's there to comfort Nick. Meanwhile, Sam, Bill, and Neil all struggle with having to shower without clothes on around other students in gym class.
So true. So the cold open of this scene is my favorite cold open ever, because it's Jason Segel
Mhm.
playing along to, I think it's Limelight by Rush.
Rush.
And that's and he has the drum set that's just pieced together like the Franken kit of a tom here, just everything he can just possibly. That's exactly what
But
I
he
did.
has like theater lighting in his basement, or
Oh,
is that
yeah.
all in his mind? He's
No,
got,
yes,
it's
yeah,
like,
strobe
yeah,
lights, fog, the whole thing. He's having
yeah.
Lindsay like drop dry ice in the bucket so that there's more, so he can go one more time. And it's not, and he can't hear anything that he's doing.
Right.
This differed for me because I really studied drums and I had a teacher and I really worked at it. But
Nerd.
I know, right? But I knew other kids that were drummers that did not have classical training or any training, and that's Jason Segel. Like he's just down there in his basement doing it, and he's terrible. He's
Is
such.
he? I wanted to ask you, that was my first question. Can he really
Oh yeah.
drum?
I don't know if he can really. I mean, no, I don't know what he can drum today or not. But in what he's doing in that pilot is not good. But it
Yeah,
doesn't matter because he's in the earphones
right,
listening to Neil Peart, the real drummer, doing it,
right.
and it's just it's just like that's me.
I
That's
love how much your face lights up. So one question I had for you in the pilot or in the second episode we watched was, which one of these kids do you relate to the most, Jeffrey? But I didn't have to ask
no.
because I got to this episode and I was like, oh, he's a
Oh,
Nick.
I was Nick.
Yeah, I'm a Millie. You're a Nick. We
Yep.
wouldn't have even you wouldn't have even said hi to me in the halls.
I would have but I also had the side of like I was in theater, so maybe
Mm,
we would have been in, a musical together. So did you do musicals in high school?
of course,
And
I
yeah,
was musicals, and I mean,
yeah, right.
yeah.
Like I was always like I guess I'll do. Yeah, I did musicals as well, but I wasn't I wasn't. I always was like I guess I'll do it
Mhm.
because I want to be an actor and that's what they're doing, and so I guess I'll be involved with it. But
Sure, sure. And I would have been begging you, like, you have to do the musical because there are no straight guys and no tall guys. And
yeah,
please, Jeffrey, if I'm
I
going to be
I
Maria,
was
you need to be Tony, please. I would have
yeah I
begged
got
you.
I got blackmailed into show choir
Yeah, you
because
did.
the teacher said, if you want to be in the music, if you want to have good parts in the musicals, you need to be in show choir. And I was just
Mhm,
like, oh my God. And I
mhm.
did it. And there's a picture of me in show choir that my brother still brings out on occasion.
I'm going to need for you to send that to me. Pete, could you put up the picture of Jeffrey
I
in
will.
show
I will
choir?
absolutely. I just saw it the other day. Yeah, got the
Will you
cummerbund.
really send it to me? I was just kidding,
I
but if
will.
you will, that would
I
be
totally will.
magical. I'll
I'll
send it to
tell
Pete.
I will.
Um, this is the episode where I said, okay, the apathy and the snark is getting on my nerves for Franco and Rogan. They don't open their mouths unless they're just
Right.
insulting someone or
Yeah.
laughing at someone. And it's so one note. And maybe I missed Franco's big revealing moments that he's got a heart or that he has thoughts or feelings, but
Mm,
and I know Rogan's a smaller part, and his part
yeah.
is sarcastic friend, and I
Yes.
get that, but
Right.
I was sick of it. It's too much for my
I hear
taste.
that.
Yeah,
I think that's legit. That's legit.
and this
So interesting that they
episode,
were the same character because that explains
well,
why that happened.
Nick and Daniel were the same character.
Oh, Nick.
Franco and Siegel.
Oh, interesting. Not Seth Rogen and
No,
Segel. Oh, interesting. I've
that would have
seen
made more
you
sense.
can go on YouTube and see Jason Segel's audition for Freaks and
Mhm.
Geeks, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Oh, I've never been such a fan of his. I can enjoy him in certain things,
Right.
but in general, I do want to punch him. But that's just me.
Right.
That's just me. This episode I wrote, I'm not such a fan of the very special episode feel of this storyline. It felt
Interesting.
tonally out of place to me. Dad says, "Have your fun now, son, because you're going into the military. Unless you get your grades up." So Lindsay's like, "We can't let Nick go into the military." And it all has a this the freaks storylines feels too sincere for me.
Interesting. I like that it was sincere. I like that you saw the side of Nick where you see, where like his dad just doesn't get his son at all. And he's trying to be different, but he can't. Like in the end, when he goes and he auditions for the bigger band, which, by the way, fun fact, that's Paul Feig
Oh,
on
I know.
bass.
I
Oh,
wrote
you knew.
Baby Fig. Yeah.
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 Paul Feig played because he's a musician too. Um, it's so sad to me.
Mhm.
It pulls on my heartstrings because he doesn't know how to do it. No one's showing this guy how to follow his dreams and like be what he wants to be and be who he is. Um,
It's like he can't escape his own mediocrity and
Yeah.
it's sad. And Lindsay is the opposite of mediocre. She's
Yeah,
academic and special and
totally. And
smart
again,
and
Lindsay has two parents that love and support her and
yeah.
care for her. And this guy does not. He's got this military father that just lays down the law and is like, that's it. And like, it's no wonder he is how he is. And it's just, it's so, it makes me the ending is so sad when he goes and does that audition and he's just playing too much and he has no feel and he has no sense.
He just races. He's like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. And even
He
I
knows
am not a drummer,
everyone.
and I
Like,
could recognize like, oh,
yeah.
there's no tempo. He's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. And they're
But
all
I'm
just,
wondering if Segel is a good drummer who did that, and wouldn't that
I
be a
don't,
challenge?
I don't know. I don't know. Should I research?
Yeah, you're going to do the research because I know that at times when people say, "Oh, you have an audition and it's for a singer," but not like a singer, sound like a real person singing. And I'm not, I hope I'm being such a douchebag, but it's a little challenging because I'm a trained singer and I have vibrato and blah, blah, blah. And then to throw that out the window and just sound like a real lady singing in her shower,
Right.
with maybe some pitch problems, but she can sing. That's
Yeah.
a little challenging. I'm wondering if that was Siegel.
I think Jason Segel learned to play the drums for it says here on the internet that he is a drummer, most notably for his work playing on in that show. But I mean, nothing that he did was like incredible as a drummer. I have a
Oh,
feeling
no, but he's not supposed to be.
right. I don't think he's really a drummer where he's like
Okay.
really studied and really gone for it. But I think he does probably have a drum set in his house and he probably does play along to things when he wants, which is totally cool too. There's nothing wrong with that.
Does he play the drums in I Love You Man? And are you a fan of that movie?
I have not seen that movie, so I don't know.
We're done. We're done here. It's
Do you
been
love that
real.
movie? Should I watch that movie? I love it.
It's so charming and
Oh,
so
really?
funny. Yes.
Okay, I'll check it
It's
out.
really fun.
I'll
Um,
definitely check.
so the plot for the kids, the little kids, is that they don't want to get naked in the shower. It's adorable. It's funny and uncomfortable.
And
And the
it
mom says, Lindsay, tell your brother what a beautiful body he has.
yeah,
Another laugh out loud line.
just amazing. What about the earth ball that they're playing with in gym where
Yeah,
they're
what the
like, do
hell
you
was that?
remember in gym class, I remember doing things with like a parachute.
Yes,
There was like
parachute, I
parachute
remember.
day. And then, but like they had these weird sort of like game, like there was like gym back that like when I hear my son talk about gym today, it's all like, yeah, we did burpees and we did push-ups. Like they're really like training their bodies. Like
Right.
they're getting much better physical education. But they did that like back in the day. They had all these weird sort of things that you would do in gym and like the earth
I don't
ball.
remember Earthball, but
I don't remember earth ball either, but I remember the parachute. I remember feeling like sort of thinking things were normal. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, there aren't people playing with parachutes at the park all the time. That was just
right.
some
It's
weird.
parachute isn't in the Olympics.
Yeah, right. There's
That's weird,
totally,
right?
totally, totally.
Um, yeah. So this was my least favorite. I hate to say because I know it was all about drumming and big dreams, and I thought, oh, this is Jeffrey's sweet spot. So I apologize that of the four, it was
Yeah.
my least favorite.
Their band was named Creation.
Yeah.
My band in high school was named Redemption.
Of course it was.
It was just so much. And we had girls at the practice, just like that. I mean, it tugged on my heartstrings. But I get that. I
Of
get that.
course. So then I watched the final episode, which never aired, but
Right.
it became available when it was released on DVD. And remind me, it's Dragons and Disco Balls? Is that
Yes.
what it's called?
Yeah.
And Daniel, that's James Franco, is
Mhm.
sentenced to audiovisual class as punishment for attempting to pull the fire alarm. Lindsay is accepted to a 2-week academic summit, but she isn't excited and she isn't sure about going. Nick, Jason Segel, has a new girlfriend, Lizzie Kaplan, and he takes up disco dancing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I said, I know you said it's a serial show, but I really don't feel like I missed much. But it, obviously at the end of the drumming episode, Lindsay kisses Nick. It feels like
Mhm.
a pity kiss,
It
right?
is. Yeah, totally. You can see that she plays that so well.
Yeah.
Where yeah.
She's such a good person. Lindsay Weir is just
Mhm.
solid and loves her brother and her family and her friends. She's a good person. But clearly she dated Nick for a little bit and then
Right.
they broke up and now, right?
Yep.
And uh he's with Lizzie Kaplan, Susie, I
Yeah.
want to say.
Yeah.
And now Busy Phillips is nice to Lindsay. How did that happen? Kim Kelly.
I don't really know. I don't
That's
really know.
okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's going to affect your Yelp review, but that's fine. Um because of the stereotypes.
Mhm.
And it's right there in the name. This show is all about stereotypes.
Right.
I was thinking about how that probably helped with a shorthand to tell these stories or highlight these different kinds of people in our lives or from our childhoods. I don't know how many seasons could have come, like what legs this show would have had, because these characters are not growing and developing. They're staying in their lanes and doing their thing.
High school is stereotypes, though. That's where people sort of figure out who they are, and they gravitate towards these very stereotypical things because that's the most accessible, I guess, right? If you're the whatever category you fit into, um, that time in your life is about stereotypes. I think so. I've listened to an interview with Paul Feig about where he would have taken this show. At the end of the pilot, Lindsay doesn't go to the mathletes and she sneaks off and goes to follow the Grateful Dead.
At the end of the season. Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I wrote, no wonder you like this show, Jeffrey. Jeffrey's a deadhead. Heads up.
Yeah. Right. And the teacher, the counselor giving her the dead record and being like, whenever I'm sad, I listen to this. But Paul Feig was not a deadhead. And I've heard him talk about that they were planning on having her sort of like go on tour or whatever, and then kind of getting too far into it and then coming back home. I think eventually had the show gone on, you would have seen her go to college and, the kids would have just grown up and it would have branched out from high school where I guess that's where it would have gone. And, the show got the Emmy for best comedy.
I didn't know that.
It was one of the only shows that was canceled and then won an
Won
Emmy.
the Emmy.
The only other show to do that was Arrested Development.
Ugh. One of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, all time.
So good.
That happens a lot in the Tonys. A show gets their closing date and then they win the Tony and then they can push for another few weeks or, because people are like, wait, it won the Tony. Now I want to see it.
Do they push it? Because the networks are always like, nope, it's canceled. It's done. We don't care.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they hold on for the Tonys. They're like, we have meager sales, but let's stay till the Tonys. And if we win, we'll extend and we'll do a few more weeks. And it's sad that people need that validation. But good for this team for taking home that Emmy.
To be honest, as I watched the pilot, it wasn't my favorite episode. I don't think the pilot is as good as I think when I first saw it, because of the whole dead thing, I was like, had sort of rose-colored glasses about it. When I watched the pilot again and like Nick was doing the whole disco thing, it really...
Oh, no, you don't mean the pilot. You mean this finale.
I'm sorry, the season finale. Thank you very much. The season finale was not my favorite episode when I watched it this time. I thought it sort of like the disco thing was kind of mildly interesting. Like I liked that they were sort of like the whole dynamic of like disco sucks, like that kind of thing was kind of cool. But this episode was not my favorite out of the ones that we watched.
I like that we got to see D&D because that is such a huge issue, or not issue. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. It's a huge obsession and passion for so many people.
And this show has been credited with the most realistic Dungeons and Dragons reenactment ever. Like I've heard a lot of people be like, Freaks and Geeks nailed Dungeons and Dragons and what it's like to play that game better than any other film or television show.
So James Franco plays with them because he starts to hang with them in the AV club and then he gets sucked in.
Which another bizarre, can we just take a second? Like the AV club, like what's that? Like what? I remember that the kid would come in pushing the TV and like set it up, but like how strange. Like why are they having kids doing that during high school? Like,
well, I got news for you. That kid was probably Steve Jobs or Steve Wozniak, or I mean, those those kids were the smart, bright, tech-savvy kids.
Was it because teachers couldn't, like, figure this stuff out, so they had the kids who were tech savvy do it?
Yeah.
It just seems weird to me. Like, if I'm running a school, I want my students in class learning, not pushing around TVs, setting up, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems weird to me when I look back on it.
It was like a bit of a status thing. There are also kids who were like hall monitors or kids
Right.
who were, they were like, they wanted more responsibility. They thought it would look good for college, and they created these positions for them.
Yeah.
I was not in the AV club, but we did have it, and
Yeah.
it makes sense.
I guess. It's just looking back on it, it just seems so bizarre to have kids doing, like, menial, like, janitorial like, I don't know, it's
Right.
just weird. Just
Yeah.
strange. Like, there was an AV club that learned how to, like, put the film projectors together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And do you know who the teacher was of the AV club?
Oh, he was so familiar.
That's Steve Higgins. He is Jimmy
Yeah.
Fallon's sidekick, and he was a
Oh, that's
producer on
why he's
Saturday Night Live for
okay.
millions and millions
Yeah.
of years.
Okay. He did look familiar, but I don't watch Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, yeah, and his brother, Al Higgins, is a big writer out here in LA.
Oh, okay. We are so close to the end here, but I have a
Okay.
deep thought.
Yeah, what you got?
Deep observation. I don't know if you have a noise for that, Pete, but go nuts.
Ooh.
Geeks care about stuff. They
Mhm.
care about Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars and books and their friends. The deadbeats care about nothing. They want to drive around and, goof on people, or that's such an
Mhm.
out-of-date
Put
expression.
everything down.
And it's such a predictor of future success. If we look around the world, do we think that James Franco's character is running a multi-million-dollar corporation or curing cancer or
Gas station.
yeah. So it if you look at these characters and probably people in real life, you can see who is going to succeed. And even, if you're passionate about soccer and you play soccer and you work really hard at it, that's great. But a lack of passion turns into a lack of direction and a lack of reward, achievement, dead end.
Well, Steve Higgins does this speech in the AV club. He sort of does that where he's like, "Look, guys, this is," and he does the little graph, and he's like, "Look, this is all those guys that you're afraid of. Like, this is their peak. This is their time to shine. And after this, it's all downhill for the next 60 years. You guys are gonna just keep going up and up." And he sort of maps that out in that.
Maybe I peed during that, or maybe I half listened because I thought it was my observation.
It snuck in there.
Well, the last thing I have is a quote, and it's a character that I don't know the name of. He's an overweight kid, and he
Uh-huh.
says, "The best part is you get to pretend to be somebody you can't be in real life, and that's why D&D is so awesome." And it broke my heart, but it also
That's it.
made me happy that they have that.
Yeah. And that's what we do as actors, right? That's why we do, we get to be people that we're not. We get to jump out of our own skin and not be confined to our normal realities. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good quote.
Do you have anything else you need to say about Freaks and Geeks?
No, just that I still love this show so much. Watch it.
Good. Oh, I'm glad it didn't let you down. I'm glad you weren't.
Oh.
Oh, that thrills me. A couple times on Make Me a Nerd, people have said, "Yeah, I was watching it again, and
Yeah.
so
It still holds up. Like it still makes me feel so many things. It makes me laugh. It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel nostalgic. It makes me feel excited. It really, I think it's a really well-made show.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm going to tell everybody my business, and then you have a lot of stuff to tell everybody about where
Yeah.
they can find you. Heads up, here we go. Make Me a Nerd is a production of True Story FM, engineering by the peerless Pete Wright. My theme song is Wonderstruck by Jane and the Boy. And if you're listening to this on Apple, please hit those 5 stars and write a review. Let me know what you think. If you have suggestions for things you want me to explore, I am all ears. And if you're feeling extra supportive, please go to makemeanerd.com/join. Hitting that join button will get you your episodes ad-free and early. Ads are coming, people. This is the business. I got to keep the lights on. Ads are coming. So please join the club and support the show and my mission to become a nerd. Jeffrey, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Jeffrey Nicholas Brown. You can find me on Facebook at Jeffrey Nicholas Brown. I will be performing in Las Vegas with Blue Man Group periodically. Definitely go see Blue Man Group. All ages, all types of people. It is one of the most universal shows to enjoy. Does not take a lot to enjoy that show.
No, I've seen it 4 times, by the way. I'm a
really?
big Blue Man fan. Oh yeah, I've never
All
seen
in
you
Boston?
in it. No, New York, Boston.
Oh, killer.
I don't remember where else. Yeah. Okay. It's not about me. It's about you. Have you been in any movies that people can see?
Yes, I got to work on the Green Day movie called New Year's Rev, which will be coming out this holiday season. Definitely go see the Green Day movie. It's written by Billy Joe Armstrong and Lee Kirk, directed by Lee Kirk, and it is fantastic. It is, again, a coming-of-age story, comedy. It's going to be great. I'm so excited for it.
I'm thrilled for you. And I know some of our listeners might recognize you from Henry Danger, if I can just promote that. Jeffrey
Absolutely.
Nicholas Brown played the dad on that really charming show on Nickelodeon for years, Henry Danger. And that is for nerds and non-nerds alike as well.
Absolutely.
That's your sweet spot, man.
Yeah, right. I know. Like totally. The nerd and non-nerd thing, rock, roll, and comedy. That's sort of where in that Venn diagram is where I seem to thrive.
Well, I adore that, and I adore you, and thank you so much for making me a nerd.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I love being a nerd, and I love talking about nerdy type things like this, Freaks and Geeks. Love it.
Excellent. Thank you, and thank you all for listening. Until next time.